Good afternoon, everybody. It's Stephen from Win Extra, and as you can tell, Paul with Flaherty is still not here. He's out wrangling his kids for another couple days. In his place, I've been lucky enough to grab my partner in crime over at Braindead Techcast, and greetings to Sean P. Aune.
You know, oddly enough, though, I'm wearing Paul's underwear.
Uh-oh.
Well, I felt, I should bring a little bit of Paul to the show.
I'm sure he'll really appreciate that. Now, you have to understand something here, too, folks, is that, Sean is a long-time blogger. He works very hard in the industry, and what you may not realize is he actually has a real job. And we have video proof of it now, okay? Because he is in his warehouse office.
I'm in my warehouse office,
yes.
So, pardon the clutter, but this is all product.
It's kind of nice to know that not all of us are wandering around in our pajamas and other people's underwear alone and actually have real work to do.
I actually come to a real office every day.
Wow.
I know, it's scary.
Oh, God, what's going to become of us all now? Well, we've got, this just came down the wire, because there's very little Microsoft news.
There's very little news, period.
Yeah, true enough. You must be having a bitch of a time for all the places you write for.
Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about it. It's not fun.
Well, just to give an idea of people, where are you writing for now?
I'm strictly at technobuffalo.com because I'm the Grand High Poobah editor-in-chief.
Oh.
And then my own blog, which, actually, that's the hardest blog to write every day. That one's just horrible to find news for.
Yeah.
So that's why I write about teacher sex stories.
That's always good for page views.
There's always teachers making love to the kids.
Yes, in ways that they shouldn't be.
Exactly.
But our first little bit of a news item that basically the only one I've seen all day is that Bing is giving away free song downloads. I don't know what kind of songs they are, but from...
Probably a lot of Justin Bieber.
Oh, God. Did you see, there was a Twitter...
Yes.
Wait. Just people understand, there was a tweet that went through, obviously both our feeds, where someone was saying, congratulations, Mashable giving away Justin Bieber headphones. Hopefully won't cut into their cat coverage.
Which, the link to their cat tag, I went ahead and clicked on it. I was like, wow, they have done a lot of stories on cats.
Oh, my God. But anyway, between now and New Year's Eve, folks, Microsoft search engine Bing is giving away free songs. So, there you go. Aren't you thrilled?
I'm beside myself.
I can tell you just shifted over a little bit. One of the things that's been going around, I guess, now that the iPad is rumored to come out with version 2, and you run iPad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You nasty person, you. And you've also got the iPod Touch, from what I understand, or do you still have that? There we go. So you're going to be right in this marketplace, but I guess with Android coming to the Slate, and now there are rumors that at CES we're going to start seeing some Windows 7 based slates. And I ran a story the other day with video purporting to of an XOPC Windows 7 slate with their own custom interface. And you've had a chance to watch that video. What's your thought as an Apple iPad user?
Well, not even so much from that viewpoint. I think Microsoft is making a large mistake in that they're recognizable, they're knowable. What that XOPC interface was unlike anything I've seen, and that's going to scare people.
Yeah.
One thing Steve Jobs said at the introduction of the iPad was millions of people already knew how to use it. You have the iPhone users, you have the iPod Touch users. They can pick up the iPad, they know it.
Yeah.
I looked at that thing and I was like, okay, will more bubbles populate what will happen?
Yeah.
I don't understand. You said a great thing pre-show. Microsoft's exerting all this control over the Windows Phone 7 phones.
And the Zoom.
That's a fantastic idea. Yeah, and the Zoom. That's fantastic. Do the same with your tablets.
Yes.
Your most recognizable aspect is your interface,
yep.
and you're letting people just graffiti all over it.
They're doing this. They're doing the same mistake that they did with going back years now with the desktop and the laptop. Okay, they said basically, OEMs, do what you want as long as you're running our software. You can do whatever you want to it. That changed, I think, with Zune first, but primarily it changed with Windows Phone 7. And what I'm really afraid of is that with the Slate's going to become a very popular item, and I think they are. I think that they are going to trend this time. Because we got to understand, Microsoft started the Slate.
Okay. There's an unpublished piece I just recently written documenting, the history of Slates.
And so here we have the company that came up with the idea, trumpeted the idea, didn't go anywhere with it, and they've basically been sidelined by Apple, who I got to give them kudos. They came up with a brilliant interface for it. Nice and easy. Everybody can use it. It's recognizable. If Microsoft wants to have that same impact on the tablet market that they are going to have on the mobile phone market, I think, personally, they should be exerting the same control over the UI.
I totally agree. They're making a huge misstep here. Yeah, I mean, it's working for Google and the Android OS, but...
Is it?
Well, that's a good question. That is a really good question, because, I mean, that's part of what's fracturing the Android market right now. Yeah, like I've got an HTC Hero here. Well, the problem is that it uses a skin called the HT Sense. That's part of why I'm not upgrading past Android 2.1. HTC doesn't want to spend the money on upgrading the UI.
Yeah.
So I'm getting left behind in the Android upgrades. So yeah, you've got a good point. Perhaps Google, although Google, it's open.
Yeah, that's we see. Okay, if you really want to go that route, Microsoft Windows was open. Mm-hmm. Okay?
That's a stretch, but yeah.
No, if you're going to use the Android model and say it's open, and that allows the manufacturers, the OEMs, to do whatever they want with it, as long as they use Android at the core, then I'm sorry. There's no difference between the fracturization that happened with Microsoft Windows, up until Windows Phone 7, that is happening now with both the Android phones and is going to happen with the tablets. The only one that's maintained any consistent UI that we can all understand and enjoy has been Apple.
I know. We all call Steve Jobs a control freak. But there's something to be said for what he's done.
Yeah, because he's gone after that one segment of the market that everybody else figures isn't important, and that is the general consumer. Mm-hmm. Who is it? You, me, and I think it was Mark have had a disagreement over the popularity of the iPad, I believe it was. Remember when it first came out?
Yeah, well, Mark was denouncing that it was going to crash horribly, nobody was going to buy it, and I just kept going, yeah, sure, Mark. Okay.
Yeah. Don't look at my iPod Touch or my iPad. Don't. Yeah, let's hide that away.
But no, I mean, the thing is, Jobs, again, I go back to that quote from Jobs about he had tens of millions of people that knew how to use an iPad before he even launched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, while it has its problems, I would give anything for this thing to have a forward-facing camera. Mm-hmm. It is so idiotic that it does not have a forward-facing camera. Gee Willikers, iPad 2 will have it. Big surprise.
Yeah.
There are problems with it, but in general, you can put this thing in front of anybody, and they immediately... It's just intuitive.
6-year-old kids.
Right. Now, you get Microsoft letting anyone do whatever they want to the slates, you're not going to be able to get people to transfer from one slate to another.
Exactly. or from a Windows Phone 7 or Zune to a Slate to the desktop.
And what's so stupid is that didn't Ballmer say at one point that the whole reason they were exerting this control over Windows Phone 7 was so that you could go from phone to phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do the same.
Yeah.
See, even with the Zune, let's slide over to the Zune now, because we've got
we
rumors.
have to.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I like it. I would love to have one. The Zune HD.
3 other people.
Listen, there's actually a lot of tech writers that when the Zune HD first came out were going, holy snappers, this is actually a hell of a good media player.
And how many of them actually bought one?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. But the point is that the user interface there, okay, is almost identical to the Windows Phone 7.
Right.
Okay. The only problem is it isn't getting the love and the attention that the Windows Phone 7 is, and I'm wondering if either Microsoft should just kill the sucker off finally, and just concentrate on making the Windows Phone 7 their media machine. But I don't quite agree with that. Or put the same amount of attention and detail into promoting the Zune.
I think they definitely need to promote it more. I mean, Apple's proven that you can have the same user interface across multiple devices, and people want it on even more devices.
Yeah.
So there's definitely the market can sustain this sort of system. So why Microsoft isn't learning that lesson, I don't know. If you already moved the Metro UI over to the Zune HD, then move it to the tablets too.
And really, when you look at it, that could be transferred to because you've got the Xbox as well sitting in there, all right? But you've also got one other thing, and that's the Windows 7 Media Center.
Yeah.
They can all be brought together into one platform, and Microsoft would have a killer consumer platform.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't... This is another one of those instances where you just have to wonder what Microsoft is thinking.
Yeah. I like Microsoft, and I'm the first one to call their bluff or give them a slap when I figure they're doing something wrong. So I found it rather interesting. And I sent you the link to this one. Jesse Stay, who is big Facebook developer, but he went through a phase where he trashed Microsoft and his Xbox because he was having nothing but problems with it. 4 tries, blah blah blah. All of a sudden now he's coming around. And he's saying, "Hey, wait a minute. I think we have to reevaluate what Microsoft is as a company." And he's basing this on Kinect and the new Xbox 360. But I've noticed that there is, if you ignore people like Robert Scoble and that ilk, who probably couldn't find anything good to say about Microsoft if you paid them to, because they were once paid to, there seems to be a growing undercurrent of where at one point nobody would give Microsoft the time of day in the tech blogosphere.
Right.
But we're starting to see a lot more stories about the Windows Phone 7, about the Kinect, about the future of the company, and people are actually turning around and saying, hey, we might have a new company to play with here.
Well, and I don't want anyone that's watching this show that doesn't know me from other places. I am not an Apple fanboy. I'm not strictly Apple. I'm recording this on a Windows XP machine. My main laptop is a Windows 7 machine. So I do not have a hatred of Microsoft. And I love Windows 7. I love Windows 7. Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new world. I do, though, think that Microsoft makes some huge missteps in their business this year.
I agree with you.
I cannot, for the life of me, they've got enough money to hire the brightest brains out there.
But they do. But they do. The problem is, I think where the biggest problem is, and this has been proven, is their middle management is totally screwed.
Yeah.
There are too many chiefs or chefs deciding what goes into the soup, and they're all fighting for the same ingredients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
We probably got brilliant people at the very top who know the business, well, and we've got people in the trenches who are some of the brightest and the most creative people. Well, look at Connect. Look at X. Name a product that's come out the past 6 months, a year, and they've
hit them all out of the park.
Yeah,
they've done great. I give them full kudos. Now, I mean, I didn't pick up a Connect yet. I don't know. It just hasn't appealed to me that much yet. But the Xbox itself, I'm a huge.
Yeah.
I was diehard PlayStation for 1 and 2. I have not bought a PlayStation 3. I have no interest in buying a PlayStation 3. I adore my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I love a lot of what Microsoft does, but they just make poor decision after poor decision, and you just want to pull your hair out.
Yeah.
Because you want them to do better.
Well, you're headed to CES this year, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll leave on Sunday.
Yeah. And any chance we're going to be able to maybe get a few advanced words on what Microsoft's bringing to the table?
I actually was going to talk to you about that post-show. I'm definitely going to. I will be feeding you information for sure.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to Ballmer's keynote, which is where we're expected to see the new slates. Yeah. I'm going to a party they're having for the entertainment division, so I'm going to be very Microsoft heavy while I'm there, actually.
Good. I like to hear that. But on that note, I know that you've got a busy day ahead of you as well, so I won't keep you. I want to thank you very much for stepping in for Paul.
Problem.
You can go and take off his underwear now. And you can find Sean Piani at SeanPiani.com, as well as TechnoBuffalo.com, and in tandem with me at Braindead Techcast, where we do a lot of kind of weird podcasting stuff. A lot of fun. We got actually a show tonight.
Yes, we do.
Anyway.
Cool Stuff Wednesday.
Yes. But on that note, folks, this is Stephen from Win Extra, and that's Paul. Sean Piani. God. From SeanPiani.com. This has been Win Extra Daily Brief. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.